So hello and welcome to another video about the many rumours and hoaxes that plagued classic Rockstar games that you yourself might have fallen for. We'll cut the intro. To sum it up, no supernatural hoaxes, only those kind of hoaxes that your friend from school told you about or you read on some internet forums about secret weapons, encounters, cutscenes, secret missions that just never existed. But to access them you had to do about 10,000 precise steps or whatever. Those kind of hoaxes. Anyway, let's start off with GTA Vice City Stories and the Phil Collins concert. So in GTA Vice City Stories, there's a bit of a sub-story involving Phil Collins who's preparing for a concert, and Vic essentially saves Phil's life after numerous assassination attempts. And once you've done the final mission for Phil, you can attend a concert by Phil Collins at the Hyman Memorial Stadium. You can buy a ticket for $6 and you get treated to an in-game render of Phil Collins singing In the Air Tonight. It's a very nice treat for those who are fans of Phil Collins. But people did make up some rumours that there were more concerts that Vic could attend. Some saying you could hear Phil sing other songs, which to be fair, 3 songs from Phil Collins are on the Vice City Story soundtrack, these being Easy Lover, Turn It On Again from Genesis, which is one of Phil's bands, and of course In the Air Tonight. So it does seem believable. Why limit yourself to only one song when Phil himself has 3 on the soundtrack? Another reason for this hoax might be the fact the in-game notification when you approach the ticket says Phil Collins concert. There's no mention of it being only In the Air Tonight. Like when you typically go to a concert, usually you expect to see whoever you're going to go see perform, of course, you expect them to have a set list of tracks you kind of expect them to play during their performance. I feel like this hoax might have been partly inspired by the Hotter Than Hell level from Tony Hawk's Underground. If you ever played that game, I hope you did, it's a damn good one, but in that Hotter Than Hell level you can summon the band Kiss to perform some of their songs, and to activate them you just find the letters Kiss around the map, and once you do it, they'll appear and play a random selection out of the 4 songs they have on the soundtrack. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was maybe part hoax or somebody remembered Kiss from Tony Hawk's Underground and just went with that. I'll throw in a bonus mini hoax, but I've seen some people claim that Phil recorded this track in studio for immersion purposes. But this is not true. The audio used for the concert is from his 1985 no ticket required performance, even though Vice City Stories takes place in 1984. So we can finally start nitpicking Rockstar for their clear lack of attention to detail. So the next hoax we're going to take a look at is one you might remember from when GTA 5 released, and that is Lamar Davis being playable. So very shortly after the release of GTA 5 there was a rumour going around that originally Rockstar had intended Franklin to die in the ending C of GTA 5 and he'd be replaced by Lamar Davis, and a bit like how Jack Marston takes over from John in Red Dead Redemption, Lamar would take over Franklin's role and be able to complete his missions and whatnot. Which, given the other 2 protagonists died in the other endings, some people assumed that every single ending meant one character had to die. And this hoax is somewhat parroted years later, with even Screen Rant mentioning this on their GTA 5 cut content article in 2019. But it does appear this rumour got debunked more and more over time, as when data miners were going through the files, Lamar's files were just like other main NPCs really, like Amanda, Devin and Wade, and not full of individual customisation like the 3 protagonists and the 2 online protagonists have. Lamar didn't have any different haircuts or any different clothes, excluding the ones we see him wear in the game anyway. However, this was actually debunked by Slink Johnson, the actor behind Lamar, in a Reddit AMA. Redditor Seema James18 asked about Lamar being playable, and Slink responded to the question by saying this: "Wow, where did you hear that from? I'ma keep it 1,000 with you. Originally there was going to be a different story with Lamar being deeper involved. However, I caught a case of real life that had me tied up for a few months and Rockstar had to move on. So the story became the one you see in GTA 5. However, I am extremely thankful to Rockstar Games for sticking with me through such a rough time and allowing me to continue my role as Lamar once I was available to work." Going off his own surprise at hearing that, I feel like Lamar was never intended to be playable at all, which makes sense. But it does tell us the entire story was going to be different, but due to his issues with the law, because Slink was arrested during GTA's development, it doesn't mean he was going to be playable. Some people took the words deeper involved and assumed that must mean he was a protagonist. But it more than likely means he was just going to appear in some more missions, have a bigger impact on the story, and just, of course, have more on-screen time. However, before Slink debunked this himself, some people did actually raise questions with this. For example, in endings A and B, nobody replaces Michael or Trevor, so you're stuck with 2 characters and it locks you out of 100%. Why would Franklin get Lamar when the other 2 characters don't? Likewise, it's extremely clear Rockstar went ahead with ending C being canonical due to how similar the other two endings are. Both endings A and B are pretty similar. You just chase Michael or Trevor for a couple of minutes, the end. Meanwhile, ending C is about half an hour long, tries to tie up some loose ends, and ultimately frees the trio from the grips of Haynes, the Chengs and Stretch. And Devin Weston, of course. It's just too clear Rockstar intended ending C to be canonical. If I had to assume, and I'm just saying here assume because I have no idea where this hoax originated from, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a misinterpretation. Like maybe somebody misread a comment on a walkthrough, for example, saying, imagine if Franklin died in ending C and we got Lamar instead. And somebody misinterpreted that as originally Franklin died in ending C and we got Lamar instead. And it kind of just stemmed from there. Which, to be fair, I can see being a possibility. Not all of these hoaxes are just intended to be trolls or malicious in nature, sometimes they can be as simple as a misunderstanding. Anyway, as we all know, eventually Lamar did become playable, and that was in GTA Online's The Contract update, which dropped in 2021, in the short trip missions where you can play as Lamar and Franklin. But that doesn't mean anything to the original hoax. So this next hoax isn't the most in-depth one, but it's one we've all heard in the schoolyard about all kinds of games. This one isn't even limited to just GTA. And that of course is Secret Islands, which as far as I'm aware, were in every single GTA. And non-GTA game too, but yeah. So because you can drive boats in Vice City, San Andreas and GTA 3, people claim there were ways to access a secret island that's not displayed on the map, and to access them you had to find a boat and ride off into the distance of the map. The location of where you had to depart from varies, but all hoaxes follow the same setup. Keep on driving forward, do not stop, and eventually you'll see some islands spawn, and the funny thing is, many of these all did follow the same setup. The island would contain this ultra rare end mission. There'd be rare cars and weapons, and some hoaxes did go more in depth saying that this is how you can access the area in the GTA 3 intro, or how you can return to Liberty City in Vice City. It's a very simple one, but I'm pretty sure every single person in their 20s and 30s or older has heard something like that before. As said, it's a very simple one, but I'm sure it's one that every single person in their 20s and 30s has heard some variation of at some point in their childhood about any kind of fake level in a game or fake area in GTA or whatever. But let's end the video with GTA 4 again. So GTA 4 has no shortage of creepy moments, but one that did unsettle quite a few people was the Statue of Happiness and the Beating Heart Easter egg. If you somehow got up onto the statue, you could make your way inside the statue through a fake door and just climb on up. Eventually you see a meaty, pulsating, chained up heart. There is no other ambience here, it's just this. While of course we know it's just a reference to the beating heart of liberty, some took it upon themselves to claim there was more to this Easter egg than meets the eye. One of the rumours was that if you kept damaging the heart, eventually the heart would blow up, blood would splatter and you get an instant 5-star wanted level. Which, to be fair, Rockstar have done a few instant high wanted level instances before, like accessing Area 69 in San Andreas, or even GTA 5 itself accessing Little Lacy Surprise. So that's not entirely unbelievable. There's not much else to this hoax really. People did try to destroy the heart, but to no avail. I think people really wanted there to be more to this Easter egg given how well hidden it is, and the average player isn't going to find it normally. Plus, I don't think it's uncommon for games to have in areas like this that also have some kind of powerful item or some kind of secret inside. But another thing about this, actually, is in GTA The Ballad of Gay Tony, sometimes if Luis gets too drunk, he might wake up inside this room for an unknown reason. Now, to people who've never encountered this room before, it led to some initial confusion, like what the hell is this room? While actually making this video, I want to throw this part in because I really do like this comment, but one comment I read when researching said that when they encountered this, they turned the game off because they thought something scary was about to happen, considering Luis just woke up in this really empty metal room with that big ass pulsating heart and nothing but a ladder going down. Saying that they just felt intense fear when it happened and they just had to shut their console off because they really couldn't stand going down that ladder. I'm just throwing that in there because I just really like moments like that, when something just creepy and unexpected happens in the game to the point where it's like, nah, I'm not bothering with this, you just turn it off. But yeah, those are some more hoaxes and rumours from Rockstar's games. I hope you enjoyed, and have a great day. Thank you for watching.